So we're learning Likkutei Sichot, Volume 1, Parshas Lecha, the first Sicha, and we're in section 4. But we need still one more paragraph from section 3 to go over, and we'll hopefully finish this Sicha today and see what we do about the next one, which is a little bit long, but it can be done quickly in one day. Hopefully we'll finish it today and tomorrow. Okay, and so the Rebbe says, once the soul descends down into this world, now, וזהו אל הארץ אשר אראך, שאני רוצה להראות לך. So he says, to the land that I will show you. How does he understand Ar'eka, that I will show you? That I, the essence, the substance of the infinite, want to show you. What does this mean? Because here in the body, דווקא כאן למטה יכולים להשיג את עצמתו יתברך. It's only down here that we can actually connect and have any inkling of God's substance. A soul, as it was above, for all its height, for all its spiritual connection to God, it could not in any way grasp the substance of God. It couldn't understand what God was. It only understands the revelations of God, even above. But here below, there's an opportunity, and only here below, as he says in the Tanya in chapter 4, he quotes from the Zohar. We've mentioned the Zohar many, many times. It's one of the most important passages in the Zohar. The Moshe Rabbeinu in Parshas Tetzaveh, he says, I can only see the tzaddikim of the past generations, or of the coming generations. I can't see the past generation. I don't remember which direction he says there. And then Rashbi says to him, because Moshe is speaking there as Raya Mehemna, he's speaking as a voice in the Zohar. And Rashbi says to him, indeed, with your eyes and with your mind, you can't fathom them, you can't grasp them. But with the innermost point of your heart, Reuta de Liba, the innermost point of the heart, which captures what's called the will of the heart, is what it's called, you can grasp that. And the same thing is true regarding not just tzaddikim, but also Hashem. Because, as he explains in chapter 4 in the Tanya, Leit machshava tfisa bei, we have the same problem. We can't fathom, we can't grasp godliness. We don't understand what that means. Even the soul doesn't fully understand what that means. How can you then? Ki im kasher tfisa umitlabeshet batorah umitzvotea. But only through the way that God engarbed himself in the Torah and the mitzvos, then you can grasp even his atzmos, even his substance. And again, when we say substance, we don't mean the absolute substance. We mean what we understand to be substance, what even the soul understands to be substance. But it's from the point of view of our understanding. So
that's fine for a Shema from Atzilus. That doesn't mean to say that anybody else could do that.
Right, but the principle is that because all the mitzvos they come from the Sovev, they all come from the same place, from the surrounding light. So whether I do the mitzvah or Moshe Rabbeinu does the mitzvah, it doesn't matter. It's still the same mitzvah. And Hashem is in that mitzvah in the same way. That's why mitzvot, it doesn't matter what my kavanah is. As long as I intend to do the mitzvah. When it says mitzvot tzorchot kavanah, it means I have to intend to do the mitzvah, not do it by mistake. And not put tefillin on because somebody tells me this is how you take blood pressure. No, I have to do the mitzvah because Hashem said to put the tefillin on. That's what it means to do a mitzvah. Okay? So I'm doing it because Hashem told me to. If I do it because Hashem told me to, me and Moshe Rabbeinu, it's all the same. There's no difference. So it doesn't matter whether you're a neshama from Atzilus or not. And also we just read yesterday or the day before that the root of all the neshamos in the end is from the world of Atzilus. So in any case, when you're engarbed in a body, you have the opportunity to learn and perform mitzvahs. What do you mean? They also learn Torah in Gan Eden, but they don't do it as a mitzvah. As a mitzvah, it's only here. Why is it only here? Because here, there's limited time. You have to decide, am I going to do this or going to do that? I can't do two things at the same time. So the fact that I chose to learn Torah at this time, that's what makes it into a mitzvah, just like any other mitzvah. You have to, it is limited in time and space. There's a certain place that I do it, there's a certain time that I do it, and therefore, through the Torah and mitzvos, lo b'shamayim hi. It's what the Torah says. It's what the pasuk even he says. The pasuk says that it's not in the heavens. What do you mean it's not in the heavens? You could say maybe it's the Torah. He says no. Lo b'shamayim hen. That these mitzvos, the way that we perform them now, is in physical flesh and blood. And the fact that it's physical flesh and blood is not the way that it is in Gan Eden. That's what makes it a means by which to grasp the infinite. Section 4. אחרי שהנשמה עברה את כל הסדר של לך לך מארצך מלמעלה למטה, ירדה מכל דרגותיה הנעלות ונתלבשה בגוף גשמי, מקבלת היא את הכוח לביצוע לך לך מארצך לארץ אשר אראך, לפי הפירוש השני מלמטה למעלה. So once the neshama has come all the way down in the four and a half ways that we showed in the previous section, in section 3, and it's it's left all its superior statuses above and levels above, and now it's engarbed in a physical body. It receives the strength for Lech Lecha. But Lech Lecha now, in the sense from below to above, which is the second, right? This is the second direction. At first it has to come down. Now, and to come down, it's al kochacha, it's against your will, so it shatters all the previous understandings of the neshama as it comes down, as we saw. And it limits it more and more and more until it comes into a physical body. But now when it wants to return, when it wants to go up, it also, now it has to overcome gravity, because we said it came down and the world flipped. And now gravity is pulling it down. Okay? Before, the gravity was difficult because it was like I'm leaving, it was difficult because I was leaving the higher realms. Now the gravity is from the below and it's pulling me down. So the gravity now is not letting me rise. So I need strength. I need to receive the strength to be able to leave the land that I will show you. So really, in a certain sense, Lech Lecha, this parsha begins with a verse which is talking about space travel, right? It's telling you how to break the gravitational pull of the earth. So leave your earth so that I can show you the earth that I want to show you. Right? If Elon Musk would know Torah, that's what he would put as the motto of SpaceX. It would be called Lech Lecha. That's what it is, because it's leaving the earth to show you another earth. There is no such thing. The evil inclination is more natural to us than the positive inclination. And we've talked about this many times. As we're born, what our bodies understand is survival. The survival is the evil inclination. It takes a lot to overcome the survival instinct and to become altruistic. To give tzedakah, a person has to feel that he has enough. But that's not the natural inclination. The natural inclination is to say, oh, I got money, I need it. And it doesn't matter how much I have, I still need more. So you always have to overcome the natural inclination, what he calls here the first claim that's made by the evil inclination. The sages describe this as the evil inclination comes into the person the moment he leaves his mother's womb. And it's called nin'ar. Why do they call it nin'ar? As if he's shaken out of his mother's womb. Because this nin'ar is why he's called a nar, or why they used to say in Yiddishkeit that he's full of narishkeit. Nar means a young person, but it also means in Hebrew to shake. So the explanation is that not only do we have an evil inclination, but we shake it off ourselves. In other words, we're not willing to admit it to ourselves. It's like we shake it off. We say, this is not real. I'm not really into survival. Every person wants to think that they're not that limited. They want to think that they're open-minded and they're way beyond survival. They're not just interested in that. But the truth is, when push comes to shove, everybody's first and foremost into their survival. And it takes a great, great person to be able to overturn that superiority that the evil inclination receives over the positive inclination. You need special strength in order to overcome it. And that's what the Tanya says. That unless the Almighty helps you, you really cannot overcome the evil inclination. There's nothing to be angry at a child. It's one of the things that people don't understand. That there's no reason in the world to get angry with a child, or even with most adults. Why? Because they have not received the special strength needed in order to overcome their evil inclination. Yetzer lev ha'adam ra mineuarav. The nature of man is to be evil from his outset. From neurav, again, that's where they learned this thing from. From the moment that he's born. Why is that? Because Hashem wants us to acknowledge Him. And if it was easy to overcome the evil inclination, if it was an easy thing, then we wouldn't know about Hashem. So really, civilization is already a symbol, is already a manifestation of Hashem's help for so many generations. Why? Because here is where the scientific, let's call it scientific, pseudo-scientific picture of man's development is actually true. But it's not talking about mankind a million years ago. It's talking about my constitution a million years ago. My constitution used to be, if I go back, that I could not do anything for anyone. All I could do was for myself. That's how the baby is. So when an anthropologist or archaeologist, whatever, he imagines that primitive man was only about survival, he's 100% right. What is he doing? He's projecting from how he is and how he remembers but doesn't remember himself. He projects that on mankind. Now, was mankind really like that when, according to the Torah, when we were created? Were we just about survival? This is it's hard to tell. Were Adam and Eve only about survival? In a certain sense, they didn't feel that way. How do I know they didn't feel that way? Because they had everything ready for them. So you might say, but if you take it away, then they become about survival. It's true, but that's not how they were created. They were created at a very high level. So some people will say, oh, that high level, that's describing something spiritual, it's not describing something physical. Okay, be that as it may, we understand that the divine soul in man, which is also part of man, has a different outlook. And the difference between in the past and now is that in the past, before they left the Garden of Eden, they recognized Hashem right away when they were born. And that's a tremendous difference than today. Today, when a baby is born, again, it only recognizes itself. It doesn't really know that it's it, but it only has a survival instinct. It doesn't have anything else. It doesn't have any there's no divine soul there yet. It's certainly not conscious. But it says about Adam and Eve, from the moment that they were created, they knew God.
They were created as older people.
Settle. It's their bodies, but still, if I would create someone now, and he would wake up at 20 years old, would he right away know that God is a God? Like, it would take him a long time. What's the idea? The idea is that by them, the animal soul did not come before the divine soul. They came at the same time. The mamish came at the same time. And he had knowledge of God. In fact, the animal soul was outside. That was the serpent. That was something that they had to integrate into themselves. It wasn't inside. But by us, it's the opposite. In any case, getting back to this thing, if the anthropologist imagines that primitive man didn't have any altruism, there was no ability yet to give to others because it was all about survival. And we today, we live in a society which is so altruistic, where it's not polite to act non-altruistically. Right? There's like an understanding. Yeah, our society, everywhere in the world, except maybe in North Korea, but everywhere in the world, there's an understanding that to show that you're a good person is a plus. Everybody understands this. There's no society today, maybe now in certain situations in Russia, it's not that way. Because under war, things are in duress, it's a little bit different. But in principle, in every single human society in the world today, a person who's altruistic is looked upon more highly and is more righteous and good and the right way to be than someone who's evil. Everybody shuns evil. So what happened? We said that in order to be altruistic, in order to even have this idea, God has to help you. So God has helped. That's the entire point. Civilization is the result of thousands of years of Hashem helping certain people, and those people being like lightning. What do you call them on the seashore? so the ships don't run aground.
Lighthouse.
They're lighthouses that show the path. They show the way. Zohar even says that the tzaddikim that were in the world, they were like God's seducers. They seduced people into connecting to God, because people saw these righteous individuals and they were taken in by it. They wanted that. They understood why that was good. So Hashem has helped for many, many, many generations. Civilization is a result of so many generations that have had these tzaddikim that have moved us forward. In any case, but the simple individual still, when he comes out of his mother's womb, he only knows about survival, and then he learns from his society he doesn't feel that Hashem helped him in any way. He just feels the society demands that he be altruistic. It's not got nothing to do with it. Hashem didn't come down and pinch me and tell me, don't touch this, don't do that, don't hurt this person. The person doesn't feel that way. He feels the society is like that. In any case, כשהנשמה יורדת למטה נותנים לה כוח שתוכל לצאת מארצך לשון רצה, או רצה, מרצונות הנפש הבהמית. So when the soul comes down, finally it's forced to come down, it receives this extra strength to overcome the evil inclination and to break free from the land below. And it runs from it. And it's also not just running, it's running from the wills, because to run is the same root as will, from the will of the animal soul. So now how does he explain it? From your land, from the earth that you're coming from, he's saying to Avram, that is from the wills, the wants, the cravings of the animal soul. From where you were born, from your birthplace, is from your innate nature. What's your innate nature? Your natural mindset and your natural character traits. What is your natural mindset? It says that the natural mindset is serving your survival instinct. The natural mind is the brain and the understanding that a person grows in the first years of their life. And sometimes they never finish growing it, about how to make more money, about how to be more survivally fit. That's what it's looking at. That's what it's teaching the brain. The brain is a great instrument, and that's what it's being subdued to do. So those are your natural tendencies, your mind and your character. So it also helps you leave that. Umi beita vicha, and from the house of your father. What is that talking about? The house of your father is your upbringing, and how you were educated, how you were taught, how you were habituated, the customs, the not the mindset, but here the natural actions that you go through, right? How you lead your life naturally, what you were taught in your father's house, that in essence wasn't proper. When we say that somebody didn't receive a proper education, we don't mean that they weren't taught math and science. When the Rebbe says, and in Chabad they say, this person was not privileged to have a proper education, what they mean is they were not taught to wash their hands when they wake up in the morning. They weren't taught to say Mode'ani. They weren't taught to pray. They weren't taught to say a bracha before they eat. That is education. That's what builds up good habits. It's called education, but because we have no other word in English. But really, the word in Hebrew is completely different. It's chinuch. Education is hora'ah. It's to teach someone knowledge. And when in America they hear education, they think, well, he wasn't given the right information. It's not about information. It's about being taught how to behave. It's actually what we would call habituation. It's teaching a person what habits to have, what habits are proper. שיצא אדם מכל העניינים האלה וללכת אל הארץ אשר רקע בבית הכנסת ובית המדרש, שם הם רצונות הנפש אלוקית, וזה יבטל את הרצונות הטבעיים, הנחות השכל הטבעי ומידות והרגלים טבעיים. And then he can go to the land that I will show you. Where's the land that I will show you? In the Beis Knesset, in the Shul, in the Beis Medrash, in the Yeshiva, where he learns. There he will uncover and find the will and craving of the divine soul, and this will eventually nullify the natural tendencies of the mindset of the animal soul and its character and its bad habits. Section 5. אחרי שהנשמה ביצעה זאת בעבודה בפועל, יצא מארצך ומולדתך מבית אביך של הנפש הבהמית, נדרש ממנה עבודה נעלית יותר, לצאת מארצך, ממולדתך, מבית אביך, גם של הנפש האלוקית. But that's not enough. Now that you finally entered into the land of the divine soul, you think you'd reached the end. That's all you needed. He says, no. Because even when we're talking about the divine soul is logical. It's something that every person can understand. Any non-Jew can understand why this is important. It's not just a Jew. Everyone can understand this. Why do you have to have good habits that are not your natural habits? There's a book called Atomic Habits, how to change every single habit that you have. Why? Because he assumes that the habits that you have are not the right habits. And it's true. They're not.
But the Frierdiker Rebbe didn't take a lifetime to change one habit.
No. One midah, not a habit. Habits are easy, 21 days. What he was talking about is to change a character trait. That's already difficult. Yet still, even then, he doesn't mean that to change it in the sense of the behavioral aspect. He's talking about the innate aspect. Can I change how I was born? Can my character traits that I was born with be changed? Those that are innate. And there he says it's close to impossible. You might need a lifetime for just one. Really, what's the answer? The answer is that if you have true bittul, then you can. That's what he just said. That the divine soul causes bittul in the animal soul, and there can be some changes. They're not intense, they're not great, and not in very many areas, but innately some things can be changed. But behaviorally, everything can be changed. If we only talk behavioral, which is again the expression of things, how I express myself, that's the premise of the Tanya, the moch shalita lelev, that the mind controls the heart. So even if I feel anger, I can control it. I don't have to show it. And even if I feel sadness and depression, I don't have to show it. And I can act as if I'm not. And that itself will save me. Okay. But that's not enough. The divine soul is not enough. Why? What's the higher type? We have to leave the earth, meaning the land, the birthplace, and the house of the divine soul. The Rebbe really lays it on thick here. You're not going anywhere. You're not finished. Why? Me'artzecha. What do you need to do? Mirtzonot hanefesh elokit. You have to leave the cravings of the divine soul. What? Mimuladetcha michochma shel hanefesh elokit. You have to go beyond the wisdom of the divine soul. Mi beit avicha, from the house of your father, mitbonenut shel kedusha. Even what you call divine meditation, that you have to get rid of. You have to go beyond that. Aren't you up in arms? What's going on? What is he saying? He says, because all this has to lead el haaretz asher arecha, to the new land that I will show you. What's this new land that I will show you? Lagia lelemala mitam v'da'at. Why? Because all this, everything we just described, was in Bina. We'll call it in the creation. Creation says like this. Creation says the world is real and God is something of a creation of ours. Not that I really think that I created him, but I understand that because my mind is limited and I don't see him and I don't have an experience of him, so therefore I'm playing a game. It's all habitual. In the end, it's just an expression. He says that's not true. You have to come to the opposite understanding. What's the opposite understanding? The opposite understanding it's called Yichud. Everything we just described, that's called Yichud. It says this world is real and Hashem is a chiddush. But we have to come to the understanding that it's exactly the opposite. Hashem is everything and the world is a chiddush.
The world is a joke.
The world is not a joke, it's real, Hashem wants it. But it's mechudash. Every moment he creates it because he wants it. But the substance of reality is God. Substance of reality is not the world. That means leaving the understanding of the divine soul. Because even the divine soul, what it understands, why is the divine soul not the same thing as a neshama? The neshama understands Yichud Ha'ila. The divine soul doesn't necessarily, because the divine soul is a gift that Hashem gives the person. It's a gift. It's an addition to who he is. Why? You receive that gift, you have that gift, that's why you act the way you act. Okay? But have you seen the world from Moshe Rabbeinu's perspective?
No.
Utmunat Hashem yabita. You see that everything is godly, and then from time to time, you get a glimpse that there's physical objects here. We don't see that. He says, but you still have to go. That's the highest interpretation of this, and that is what it means to see substance. He doesn't say this here, but that's what it means to see the substance of Hashem from our point of view. Substance means that this is the reality of the world, godliness. And the world itself is nothing, it doesn't exist. But since God wants it, I see the chiddush in it. I see that it comes into being. I see that it has a place. But the real thing is only godliness. That's called Likkutei. That's called the higher unification. And that's what he means when he says that you have to go above the mindset and the habits and the character traits of the divine soul. So we finished the first Sichot. God willing, tomorrow we'll do the second one.